I think for me, it was like a lot of people, I sort of fell into recruitment, went to university, didn't have a clear idea on where I wanted to go, and ultimately fell into it slightly through just sort of a first job, which came through a business development type role, and went on to have a more account management sort of type role quite quickly, really. I think to begin with at EMEA, it's very supportive. That's how I describe the start. Regardless of, I think, what your background is in recruitment, you need that learning time. So there's a lot of training, a lot of development, a thorough sort of welcome almost week to join the business, an induction type sort of week put together for me, really. So yeah, the start of my journey was around learning the principles of how we operate differently in the market, but also just learning the discipline that I was taking on in terms of the recruitment activity I wanted to do. And yeah, overall, I would say use that word of supportive. That was the start of my journey at EMEA. I think EMEA is very hardworking. It's a bit of a cliche. It was noticeable for me that people want to get on when you're in the office. And of course, there's that collaboration, there's that teamwork, there's that warmth there, but certainly hard-working culture. And I think rewarding off the back of that, a lot of the structure is around you achieving what you want to achieve as part of the team, but you going on to deliver results in the market, to take on your own clients, to build relationships with senior candidates in particular. And so it's a culture around relationship building, rewards, and hard work. So I work in the procurement, supply chain and operations team, and I'm in predominantly the Swiss market. We have the Swiss and the Dutch market predominantly, but I do focus on the Swiss sides. Procurement kind of is what it is, and supply chain the same. And then we have the operations arm, which will perhaps go a little bit more into roles around quality management or continual improvement, operational excellence type roles. So yeah, overall they are technical roles, but it's a very interesting market around procurement, supply chain and operations within Switzerland that I work in. So it is rewards focused, but it doesn't feel rewards focused, if that makes the same sense. And when I say rewards, I mean sort of target driven through the deals that you can do, the recruitment processes that you create, build and actually lead through to a conclusion. So ultimately it's measured on that success. But the reason I say it doesn't feel like that is that you are part of a bigger picture. We're in a market dealing at mid to senior level. It's not transactional, it's not really operational, it's quite strategic in what we do and quite strategic in terms of how we approach the market, always thinking on the long terms. That process to get promoted does come back to you being successful, but it doesn't feel as though you're always being measured against that. You're not being reminded every 24 hours from your line manager on that side. So yeah, the process really is around finding your feet in the market, getting clients and working with existing clients, but also hopefully new ones, and then going on from there really to hit your sort of target and the benchmark that's set by the business to go on and be promoted to a senior consultant. I think part of that journey comes back to the reward part, but also the fact that you can give back to the business and the new employees that join. And that doesn't necessarily mean leadership as such straight away, although that is part of it. But we also have a mentor program that we run at EMEA where every employee is either a mentor or mentee. And I think it's this journey between senior consultant to AD where you can step across that divide. You've had that time in the business to build your market knowledge to then go on and be a mentor to somebody. And that's obviously quite rewarding. You can give back to a new employee. And additionally, you can be looking to move towards leadership capacity and potentially starting to build the market that you're in and taking on a new team member to work with you who might have come in as an associate consultant and can feed off your knowledge that you've picked up in the market. Ultimately, it is a rewarding business. We have quarterly incentives, yearly incentives. And I think if you're going to make that leap, naturally you're going to have to hit those targets on some occasions, which is obviously a good thing. We've been fortunate enough to go to Michelin-starred restaurants, different sort of activity days, often as part of the quarterly incentive achievement. And I was fortunate enough myself in the last financial year completed to qualify for the yearly incentive, which will be a trip abroad expensed by the business to go and spend a little bit of downtime, a bit of a reward really for the hard work that we've done. So there's some of the things that tick over in the background whilst you're on that journey. If you're going to jump to AD, you're going to have to do a certain amount of business activity, and that is a constant sort of reminder along the way in terms of the rewards.